Hey yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we are back with another tier list, and this one is the Galaxy Opals. Now, we've already done all of the positions and stuff like that, and leave any ideas for any of the tier lists that you guys have in the comment section below. But before we get into this, I just want to say I am streaming more on Twitch, so if you guys could go to the description and hit that, it'd be amazing. And everybody that's new to this, please hit that subscribe button. It would seriously mean a lot, and always hit that like. But with this tier list, you can see we have a bunch, and I mean a bunch of cards this time, and I'm going to have to split this into two parts. So we're going to have the Galaxy Opal tier list part 1, as you guys can see now, and we're going to have the Galaxy Opal tier list part 2, because there's 82 cards in this list, the halfway point being this Dan Issel right here. And if I were to put these all into one, I think it would just be one massive hour-long video, and I just think it'd be way too much and take way too long to upload. So we're gonna split it up into two parts. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you guys really show some support, we can drop it today, but most likely we will see it tomorrow. But got the typical, you know, hoopla with it: S plus S, A plus A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to try to be very, you know, typical with these, and I don't think we're going to have a lot in C and D, but without further ado, the super long-winded intro, we're going to get right into it and start with Galaxy Opal David Robinson. I think easily he's going to be S plus tier after Evo. Before Evo, probably would be down at like C or D tier, but he's definitely going to be an S plus tier card. Absolutely love this David Robinson card. Beautiful release. He can speed boost you 7'1". He can do everything. I just think he's overall a really nice card. Next, oh, actually, we have some of the new Evos all in the front, which is awesome. First, we have the Galaxy Opal Grant Hill, who I think is an amazing card after Evo, but the problem is I really just don't like any of his animations, especially his dribbling animations. They're just really not good and really not prime for a guy of small forward. So I'm going to throw him actually B tier, because he can do a lot of things and be really good for you. I just feel like he's really hindered by the fact that he's only small forward. I feel like small forward shooting guard or small forward power forward, just give him a little bit more leeway, and the fact that he doesn't have good dribbling animations, just I can't throw him up there. Next we have Galaxy Opal Penny Hardaway. Probably got some of the best boosts out of any of the cards here. He gets, I'm sorry, I dropped my phone. He gets range extender. I think he gets half quick draw. He gets better quick draw, at least. That's what I know. And overall, he's just a really nice card, and has 6'7" size at the PG position. So you gotta throw him up in S plus tier. Anybody that has that size is just absolutely amazing. You gotta love him. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Dominique Wilkins, who probably is one of my favorite cards now because of the boost that he has gotten from his Evo after this. Personally, I think he is an S plus tier card now, because if we take into account the fact that you can run him at the 2 guard, I mean, he's amazing at 6'7", and all the stuff that he can do well at the 2 guard position is just amazing. He's not my starting shooting guard, which I never thought I'd be able to do again with Dominique Wilkins, but I seriously am so glad that he is here, and he's actually pretty nice if we're being honest. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Arvydas Sabonis, who I wish was better. I mean, you guys know, for anybody that has followed this channel a while, I spent quite a lot of time to go ahead and get up to this Galaxy Opal Arvydas Sabonis, and he has a great release. Obviously has, I think, half range setter at 7'3", and just doesn't have things that you kind of need at this point on a center. Doesn't have that clamps, doesn't have a lot of speed, or just doesn't work well in the current meta of 2K. So I think I'm gonna have to throw him at C tier. You guys know I use C tier a lot as my like outdated tier, but D tier is like the tier that I think it's cards that are actually bad and I don't think are very good. C tier is outdated, and then everything else kind of goes from there, just for reference for anybody. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Dwayne Wade, who I think is amazing, and as the shorter guys is great. Definitely a better PG. I think he's a great S tier card when it comes to, you know, how great his jump shot is with that D-Wade base. The D-Wade base is obviously super clean and super nice, but I think at 6'4", he just doesn't fit the meta very well. Obviously, it's a lot of tall guys, super tall guys that can do everything. So I think he falls just short of S plus tier, but it's still a great card and can do everything really well. Also takes a really long time to get him, but still a great card. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Anthony Davis. I mean, we all know Anthony Davis is an S plus tier card. He's like one of the, I think he has the most Hall of Fame badges still in the entire game. So, I mean, you got to throw him up there. And Anthony Davis has some nice animations and really can just do everything super well. So, we got to throw him up there at the S+ tier. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Julius Erving, a card that I actually think is really, really nice. They gave him some boost a while ago where he gets up in Hall of Fame badges and just up in everything in general. I'm going to take everything into consideration with him as a 2 guard because I don't think he's very good at the 3 because he's only 6'6", but great animations. His jump shot is absolutely beautiful. He can drive and slash to the basket with the best of them, still play some good defense and shoot the lights out because of that amazing jump shot. Overall, it's just a really, really good card. Next, we have the Galaxy Opal Ray Allen, who I'm not really a big fan of. Ray Allen's release is amazing, but I don't know, this card has never really jumped out to me as an amazing card, even when he first came out, but still isn't a bad card. I'm going to throw him B tier, just kind of right in the middle. Nothing crazy, but nothing, I guess, bad about him. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Mark Eaton, who actually probably is the best defensive center in the entire game. He literally can just stop anything that he needs to down low, but jump shot really ain't there. And on offense in general, he just doesn't provide you with too much. So I think, again, very mid-tier. Like, has to go right in the middle, B tier. He's a good card, but nothing absolutely insane, you know what I mean? But still, not worth locking in at all. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Brandon Roy. Easy S tier card. Has amazing jump shots and has those T-Mag animations, which we all know this year are pretty much the best animations in the game. The only way you could make Brandon Roy or Tracy McGrady better is if you added, base 98 to him, but still the Tracy McGrady base ain't bad. And the only knock that I have on this Brandon Roy card is his dunk tendencies, because they're super low. I wish they were a little bit higher, but he still is a great card nonetheless. Next, with Galaxy Opal Tony Parker, I'm gonna have to throw him D tier. Probably is more of a C tier card, but I'm really upset with the fact that I spent 750 tokens to get him and then he's awful. Yes, a 6'2" guard like him really has no place in 2K at this point in the year. Yeah, you can't make it. You can't do it. He's 6'2". He's probably one of the best shooters I've ever used in 2K. And his defense for a 6'2" guy ain't bad, but it's dominated this year by the Penny Hardaways and the likes of those, and you really have to have some insane animations to move it up in the list, like Dwayne Wade. So it's a real tough life for Tony Parker. Next, we have Galaxy Opal MJ, who I think is really, solid in the A tier. The Jordan jump shot is very slow. It doesn't really help him out this year, but when it comes to defense and slashing, he is, really up there and really nice with it. But cards gotta have that, killer jump shot really to make it in the game. So here we are. I'm yawning a lot. I apologize. But yeah, Jordan always just lacking that one thing, it seems like, in 2K to really be that killer. But I do see a all 99 Jordan on the horizon, so I think eventually we will have a redeeming one with him. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Kevin Durant. Easy S+ tier card for me. I mean, pretty sure he's like 6'9" this year in 2K. He literally can shoot the lights out. I'm not the biggest fan of the KD jump shot, but it's still not bad and one that you can get used to and have fun with. But Galaxy Opal Kevin Durant, easily one of the better cards in the game. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Stephen Curry, another card where I just haven't been very impressed with him. He's not bad by any means. I have not been impressed with the card at all, and he's just kind of there. You know what I mean? Next, we have Galaxy Opal Vince Carter, who is actually probably one of the best slashers in the game, can still play some good defense, but I absolutely hate his jump shot, and for me, it kind of makes him a very one-dimensional player because you can really contest his jump shot so easily. Like, when I go against Vince Carter, the main thing that I do is play bait defense on that jump shot, and you can kind of make people take shots that they think are open, but then you end up getting a nice 40% contest and they brick it. So I personally feel like he is a D tier Galaxy Opal. You can make him great, and he's a card that's great in the right person's hands, but I feel like with my list, personally, I don't want a card that is just good in the right hands. I want cards that everybody can use and use really well, if that makes sense. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Tracy McGrady. We all know Tracy McGrady is an S+ tier card. I mean, there's really no way around it. probably tied with the best small forward in the game with Glenn Rice. He is just literally so nice. There's nothing really that they could do to Tracy McGrady besides give him base 98 to make him better. And the only reason base 98 would make Tracy McGrady better is just because it has such a massive green window and hits so many whites. But that's really it. I mean, Tracy McGrady is a god. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Derrick Rose, who I think is easily solid in the A+ tier category, especially after the Evo. Just get some nice boosts, but Derrick Rose has some great animations. His jump shot, I think, is great because it's quick, but not necessarily the most amazing jump shot, but he can still slash to the basket amazing, play some good defense, and when it comes to 6'3" guards, he is in that like top tier of shorter, point guards when it comes for just being amazing at it. So yeah, I mean, he's up there. I love this Derrick Rose card and definitely worth the Evo if you have the time. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Dwight Howard, who I think is like Mark Eaton, but even though he's a little bit shorter, I feel like his speed and athleticism that's a little bit higher than Mark Eaton, plus his release, which I just like better, is a little bit better than Mark Eaton, so I think he solidly fits in that kind of A-tier category card. But still, for anybody that is thinking, oh, maybe, I'll go ahead and, I guess, lock in for Dwight Howard, still do not do that. He is not worth the time of locking in, but he's still not a bad center for those that have them. But there's a lot better cards you could get that don't require you locking in a set that you can never, sell again. So, great card, but yeah, no. Next, we have Galaxy Opal AK-47, easy S+ tier card. I really hate on the base 11 gold quick draw, but AK is still one of my favorite cards. He's one of the best defenders in the game. He can still shoot the ball well, just off dribble. It's a little bit tough because there's a learning curve with gold base 11. You have to learn which shots you can take and which ones you can't. But he's still amazing. He can slash to the basket well, and his defense is something that really holds him into the the S tier category, is because he's 6'9" and can play such a great defense that you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is literally insane, and the only way he could be a better card is if he had range extender. Easy S+ tier category card. I think he's right up there, with David Robinson when it comes to centers. But because David Robinson has that range extender, I think he gets a slight nudge over Kareem, but still a great card nonetheless. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Ben Simmons. We're going to take into account the fact that he is already evoed and he has all of those amazing Hoff shooting badges, but nonetheless, he's still an S+ tier card because he's a 6'10" point guard. I mean, if you run him at PG, he's probably one of the cheesiest we got. Not saying he's the best point guard, but the fact that he's 6'10", you can't knock him for it. You know what I mean? Next, we have Allen Iverson. Probably one of my favorite cards, but a card that it's tough to use because he's only 6 foot. And I'm going to put him into the C tier category because I think when it comes to cards that are his size or below, he is the best one out of all of them easily. But I think the fact that he is 6 foot really honestly holds him back. His animations are great and I love AI cards, but I'm going to throw him in C tier because, it's that height that's knocking him down. But really on. If he was 5 inches taller, he'd be literally like S tier. We're talking about. He'd be amazing. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Larry Bird, who I think is a nice A+ tier card. He's a nice release that I think works pretty well in my team. It's got a super high arc, and it's kind of hard to contest it, and he can do everything really well. Slightly slow. I would love a speed boost on this Larry Bird card. Like, in general, move him up into the 90s, I think, with all three, and this card would be godly, probably S+ tier card. But I think now, with him being a little bit slower, it moves him down in the ranks, so that's a little bit tough on him. But he's still a great card nonetheless, and with that Evo, obviously he gets a lot, not Evo, Dynamic Duo, he gets a lot, and I mean a lot better. Next we have Galaxy Opal Kyrie Irving. Might be a bit of a controversial one, but I think he's only an B tier card, even with his Evo, just because that release on Kyrie just ain't it this year. It's super slow, it's got a weird hitch in it, and until they fix that, I just don't see a way in which they fix it. I mean, a way in which Kyrie becomes great. But if that jump shot was fixed and we had like the old Kyrie release, I feel like he probably would be one of the top tier, up with Derrick Rose, 6'3" PGs. But with his release the way that it is, I just don't see it getting better, if that makes sense. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Karl-Anthony Towns, who I feel like is very solidly in the S tier when it comes to centers. Nice 7'1", I think, and has amazing shooting, a good jump shot, can play great defense, he can play make pretty well. I'm pretty sure he can speed boost, if I'm not mistaken. But I've heard that he still feels a little sluggish, and if I'm not mistaken, he also does miss some playmaking badges. I love this Karl-Anthony Towns card, also not worth locking in, but he's just missing that, again, a speed increase or a new playmaking badge just to kind of hit that S+ tier when you're really using him. Next we have Galaxy Ball Magic Johnson. Yeah, S+ tier. I mean, if we're not mistaken, after Evo, I think he gets a +1 to his 3-point shot, making it like a 93 or something like that. And then he gets Hoff Range Extender, which is an amazing boost. A card that was already S+ tier, got an even bigger boost to move him farther up in S+ tier. You have to like 500 threes to make it, but he's still amazing nonetheless. And overall is a really, really nice card. Next we have Galaxy Opal Carmelo Anthony, who I honestly feel like can sit in that S+ tier very comfortably, probably a bottom S+ tier. And if people wanted to throw him in the S tier, I really probably wouldn't be mad at you. But I'm taking into account his after Evo, where he gets some really nice boosts. You gotta get like 100 steals, and it takes a bit to do it, but he gets some nice boosts. The Carmelo jump shot may not be the same, but it's still money and it still works really well. Obviously, he can shoot the lights out with it. He can drive to the basket, amazing, play some great defense, and has amazing dribble animations. You just gotta love Carmelo Anthony. He's that card that every year just works great. So yeah, you gotta love him. Great card. Next we have Galaxy Opal Oscar Robertson, who I feel like is a great card and can be amazing if you know how to use him correctly. I've had some great games with Oscar, but I think he's in there on par with Derrick Rose. I feel like they're very similar cards. They can do a lot of similar things. I think Oscar has better stats and Hall of Fame badges, but I just feel like the animations for Derrick Rose kind of suit him better. So for that like tick for tat, comparing them directly, I think Oscar has a slight, they're very even. I just have Oscar slightly above because he's like 2 inches taller, but very similar and very good cards. I would go with Derrick Rose because I'm pretty sure he's cheaper, but still not bad nonetheless. Next we have the Galaxy Opal Dirk Nowitzki, who I'm going to throw at A tier, right? Because I think he is a great card. He's one of those cards that I think you can be great in the right person's hands, but I think a center power forward, that's 7 foot and can do the shooting that he can with that post fade bailout that Dirk has all the time that always goes in. I think he is an amazing card. Very slow. If he had a speed increase, he could be amazing, but still is a good card nonetheless. A great stretch 4 if you need it. Again, just slightly sluggish, but if you run him at the center and maybe have a faster 4, you can kind of get away with it, and has that like a slight nudge to help him out. So there is that. Next we have Galaxy Opal Taco Fall, who for me easy S+ tier after this Evo. I mean, he's 7'5" and then gets gold range and better shooting. I don't think he gets increased hot zones, but like a 7'5" guy with range extender, I mean, come on, and an 85-3, you gotta love it. With that Kobe release, I mean, oh Lord, he can just back down people, throw hooks over him all day. Taco Fall is a great card. Next we have Galaxy Opal Alex Caruso, who I think fits very solidly into that A tier. He has a pretty decent jump shot. It's slightly slow, but it's really nice. It's easy to green, that is. It's slow, but it's easy to green. He has some nice dribbling animations. They're not the best, but they're pretty decent and can get you away with it. He's probably one of the best slashers in the game and can still play some good defense and can hold his own against some of these taller PGs. Doesn't have the post defense that other ones do have, but because of his size, can still handle it pretty well and is still a great card if we're being honest. So Alex Caruso, pretty nice up, and he's cheap, so gotta like that. Next we have Galaxy Opal easy S+ tier after Evo. Before Evo, I probably would throw him at like an A+ tier, but after his Evo, he gets playmaking badges and he can actually speed boost and do dribbling animations without dying and like having an asthma attack, needing an inhaler. Like Bull after this Evo gets some really necessary boosts that he needed. Playmaking gets increased. I think his speed gets increased. all that sort of stuff. And if you throw that dynamic duo on him with a new ball, he gets amazing as well. Just a great card, and one that I seriously would recommend now after Evo. And it's even a good idea to pick him up before Evo him, and then throw him back up on the auction house, because there's a lot of profit that you can make there. So quick little tip for anybody wondering. Next we have Galaxy Opal Patrick Ewing. I'm going to throw him B tier. I feel like he is a great card, but his animations really hold him back for me personally. I'm just not a fan of them, but I do feel like they are ones that really could help out. Next up, Galaxy Opal James Worthy, who is just AK with a worse jump shot. When I was rating the small forwards list, I forgot that James Worthy has a really weird upper release that doesn't affect the jump shot as far as, I guess, the timing and, you know, having the green window. It doesn't affect any of that. It just affects how it looks and your, I guess, you know, cue that you look at for the jump shot. And for me personally, it doesn't have a good cue on base 11 that I can really see and really know when to release it, whereas AK has that and it works really well, but he can still do everything else that AK can do. So I think he just gets that slight nudge below AK at A+ tier, but is like a high A+ tier, even though you can't get him anymore. Next we have Galaxy Opal Tim Duncan, who I think I've had as like an S or S+ tier card on like a lot of the other lists, but he is still going to be there in the grand scheme of things for all Galaxy Opals for one reason only, and that is his defense. This year, cards that can play good defense are really hard to come by, and Tim Duncan is that card that can really guard the 1 through 5 really well. And the only cards I've seen him really struggle against are Taco Fall, and sometimes, I'm forgetting the name, Yao Ming. Sometimes Yao Ming. And that's just because they're so tall and they do a hook shot. Sometimes when you jump even correctly, he can't get up there and contest them. But still is probably one of my favorite cards nonetheless for his defense. He can still shoot the ball well because of his nice release. And if he had a range extender, he probably would easily be in that S+ tier. Just missing a slight few things to consider a top tier card. Next, we have a Galaxy Opal Josh Smith, another S tier card for me. I absolutely love this Josh Smith card. He's 6'9", so great size of the small forward at the power forward. As range extenders, he can do everything really well. A nice jump shot, amazing dribbling animations. He has straight like tomahawk dunk animations, so they're really like forward and to the point. Like, he doesn't do all of the fancy stuff where you can get blocked. He dunks the ball like ferociously and nice, but it's clean, simple, and you know they go in. They don't get blocked is what I'm trying to get at. And yeah, he can just do everything, play make really well. I love this Josh Smith card, and if I'm being honest, if anybody needs like a small forward or a power forward for their team on the token market, I think your best option is to go with this Josh Smith. Seriously, an amazing card. Next we have Galaxy Opal Zach LaVine, another S tier card for me. Still is right now my starting PG because I just absolutely love him. Like, he's actually such a good card. I'm gonna move him up here. Oh no, get my list all messed up. There we go. Zach LaVine has one of the best jump shot bases in the game. It's just super green light, and for me personally, I know it so well that I can literally green it almost every single time. He can slash to the basket with the best of them. He has some of those fancier animations, so he tends to get blocked every now and then on some of them, but he puts everybody in a bucket. He's still 6'5", so he can still play some good defense and hold his own against some of the other taller PGs, but doesn't have the post game, so some of the post hooks do, you know, kind of get screwed, and when switches happen, that does happen. But when it comes to just a straight 6'5", a guy that actually runs the PG, he, in my opinion, is probably the best one. That's, again, personally what I think. Next, we have Galaxy Opal Bradley Beal, who I'm going to throw an A+ tier. I think he's an amazing card, but I don't think he is top tier. I feel like he has a pretty good jump shot that can go in really well. He's got some pretty decent animations and good defense. He's 6'5" at the 2, which is not ideal, but it's not bad. I feel like everything about him could be top tier. It's just very narrowly missing that top tier status. So I think I'm gonna have to throw him A+. Next we have Galaxy Opal James Harden, who I'm gonna throw an A+ tier as well. I think James Harden and Zach LaVine are literally identical cards. The only thing that I think I like more about Zach LaVine, and while he's a little bit higher than James Harden, is because James Harden's jump shot for me personally isn't the greatest, and I just like the sigs of Zach LaVine a little bit better. So James Harden gets that slight nudge down to A+ tier. Not meaning he's a bad card. I personally would prefer Zach LaVine. And then the last card that we're going to be talking about in part 1, Dan Issel, who I think easily goes into that A+ tier. If we're talking about him being a power forward, if we're talking about him being a center, I think we can drop him down to A+ or even B tier. But as a power forward, he's great A+ tier. He has a nice jump shot. He can play great defense. He can play make really well. He can finish at the basket. Nice post game. Everything about Dan Issel is really nice. If for a free card, it's absolutely great for him. Yeah, this finishes it up for part 1. Obviously, we got a lot more Galaxy Opals to cover. And again, if you guys show a lot of love on it, we can drop part 2 today. Or we can just wait until tomorrow. I'll keep an eye on it. And possible Jamal's Journey video coming soon. I've been putting it off because of the unlimited glitch, but I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get a recording done for that. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. Comment down below what you guys think of my tier list and what you guys maybe think about some of these guys going on in the future for part 2. Subscribe if you guys are new on that road to 5.4K. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video.